Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32, and good morning, Naps family, wherever you are listening today. It's great to have you here on the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. We had listeners all over the country last week, from Illinois to Ohio to Washington, D.C., even Washington State. Oh, the list goes on and on. Thank you so much for making this the number one podcast of Branch 32. All right, I'm your host, Robert Wakefield, president of Branch 32. Thank you very much. And we got a great show lined up for you, so let's go ahead and pour that first cup. Have you visited our website lately? The Nashville Post Office Credit Union's website makes banking easy. You can complete transactions, you can apply for some loans, and now you can explore our brand new events page created to honor our 100th anniversary. Stay connected with updates, celebrations, and special member-exclusive events. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay even more connected. Visit npocu.org. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup today, let's go ahead and grab that cup of Joe, take a deep breath, and settle in for a few minutes of calm in the middle of the storm. I couldn't say that with a straight face, could I? All right, today we're going to be talking about something that doesn't show up on any dashboard, any scorecard, or any report, but it shapes every decision that you make as a leader and as an EAS employee. And those two things are your values and the integrity it takes to live them out. All right, let's do a couple of definitions right quick. Values are what you believe, and integrity is what you do about it. Let me say that again. Values are what you believe. Integrity is what you do about it. And during peak season or any other time, those two things get tested more than anything else. So today's episode is another one of the Don't Quit series. And it says, don't quit on your values or your integrity. You know, in the Postal Service, you're going to be facing pressure. Pressure to move faster, pressures to get the job done, pressures to bend something, quote unquote, just this once. And every time that happens, you're standing at a fork in the road. Now, one path is easy, but the other path is right. And your values will point you toward the right path. And your integrity is what keeps you on it. That's good to remember. That's so important. So let me tell you a story. I'm gonna make up a story here. A story about a supervisor named Angela. Okay, so Angela works in a plant. She was sharp, organized, respected by her employees. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy, but she was steady. She's the kind of leader who made people feel safe. And during peak, the plant was just drowning in volume, okay? Parcels are stacked to the rafters. Machines are running hot. People are tired. You know the scenario. You know how this works. Around 10 p.m., her manager came over and said, Angela, I need you to certify that all delayed mail was cleared yesterday. Headquarters is asking, just mark it cleared so we can move on. Now, Angela looked at the delayed mail report. She looked at the floor. And she looked at the clock. And she absolutely knew that the mail wasn't cleared. It wasn't even close. So Angela had two choices. She had option A and option B. So option A was check the box, make the report look clean, and avoid a difficult conversation. Option B was to be standing on her values, honesty, accuracy, fairness, and use her integrity to back them up. She chose option B. Here's what she said. She said, I can't certify something that's not true. I'll give you an accurate report and we'll work the plan from there. Now, her manager was not thrilled with that answer. There was obvious tension. There was some discomfort. But you know what happened next? Angela's employees heard about it, and their respect for her skyrocketed. The plant finally got the resources it needed because the real problem was visible, not invisible like that manager wanted her to do. And later, that same manager privately thanked her. That manager that asked her to do that came up to her and privately thanked her for not folding. Now, Angela didn't win the night, but she won the long game. And that's what integrity does. It doesn't always make you popular, but it does make you trustworthy. And let me this is a great sentence right here. And trust is the currency of leadership. You know, we had a leader in the Tennessee district at one time that would purposely tell his managers not to report any overtime that they may have had until after the budget report. Now, how do you like that? After the budget report took place, then they could go in there and report the overtime late on a Friday afternoon. We all know they don't go back and look at that. That's not integrity, and that's not even leadership. That is totally, totally wrong, and he had no integrity whatsoever, this guy. So when the pressure is high and the expectations are unrealistic, your values and your integrity become your compass. So here are a few things that I read that you can carry with you. Number one, your values are your anchor. They remind you who you are when everything around you is chaotic. They keep you from drifting into decisions that you'll regret later. Number two, your integrity is your credibility. People don't follow titles, they follow consistency. And integrity is what makes your values visible. Number three, your team learns from what you do, not what you say. And this is important. Watch what happens here. They watch how you handle pressure. How do you handle pressure? Are you good at it or are you bad at it? When I was a manager, I had good days and bad days. They watch how you handle pressure. They also watch how you respond to unfair demands. They watch whether your values will hold up when it's inconvenient. Now, number four, integrity protects your people. When you stand on the written standards, the ELM, the handbooks, the policies, you're not being difficult, you're being dependable. And you're giving your employees a safe and predictable environment. But here's the fifth one that I really want you to understand. Integrity protects you. You know, shortcuts are great. They feel good in the moment, but they cost you later. In credibility, in trust, and they also cost you in peace of mind. So let's ground this down into something. Let's just boil this down to the low gravy, as we say in Tennessee. We got the ELM, we got the handbooks, we got standards. They're not obstacles. We should not be viewing them as obstacles. We should be viewing them as guardrails. They exist to protect fairness and consistency and integrity. And when you follow the written word, you're not being stubborn, you're being a leader who refuses to compromise the foundation of the U.S. Postal Service. Have you ever worked with a by-the-book kind of person? There was no wavering from the book, none. Well, people respect that. And it's the kind of people that a lot of folks like to work with. It's aggravating. But if you're by the book, then there's no question on what the book says. You're just going to do what the book tells you to do. And people enjoy working for that. So let's take a second and let's think about the values that matter most to you as a leader. Is it integrity? Is it fairness? Maybe it's respect or safety. Maybe it's honesty and accountability. What about compassion? Where does that come into play in all this? Which one guides you? Which ones do you want your employees to feel when they work with you? Because again, here's the truth. Your values are not what you say you believe. Your integrity is what you show you believe. Let me say that again. Your values are not what you say you believe. Your integrity is what you show you believe. So as you head into another week, another set of challenges, another round of expectations that cannot be possibly matched, another thing, a stack of things that need your attention, just remember this. Don't quit on your values, and don't ever quit on your integrity. All right, that's going to wrap it up for our first cup. Let's go ahead and pour that second cup. Banking should be made simple. That's why Ollie, the Nashville Post Office Credit Union's virtual assistant, is here, ready to help 24/7. Need quick answers? Ollie delivers secure, instant solutions right at your fingertips. No wait times, no hassle, just smart banking made easy. Whether you're managing your finances, exploring loan options, or just need guidance, Ollie is always ready to assist, wherever and whenever you need. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, I want to take a moment to honor someone very special, someone who meant a great deal to me and to so many in our Knapp's family. My dear friend Patsy Washer has passed away after an extended illness, and today she'll be laid to rest. And before I head out to say my final goodbye, I wanted to bring her into this podcast because she deserves to be remembered out loud. Patsy was one of those rare people who made the world feel lighter just by being in it. She was sweet, she was funny, she had this gentle way of lifting your spirits without even trying. She was my coffee buddy when we were at National Harbor during the National Convention. The coffee in the hotel was terrible that year. And we found this coffee shop about a block away from the hotel. So every morning, Patsy and I would meet downstairs and we'd walk the block to get some better coffee. Those were really good times. That was really fun. You couldn't help but smile when you were around her. She had that great warmth that settled you and that sense of humor that reminded you not to take life too seriously. She loved Knapp's. She was the former president of Branch 32. She did a great job leading our organization. She believed in the work, she believed in the people, and she believed in standing up for what was right. Losing someone like Patsy leaves an ache in your heart, but it also leaves gratitude. Gratitude for the time that we had, for the memories she gave us, and for the example that she set. So today, as I say goodbye, I'm carrying her with me, her spirit, her laughter, her love for this organization, and the people in it. So thank you so much, Patsy. May you rest in peace. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. Please share this show with all your EAS friends, those in Knapp's, and I really do appreciate it. And remember, every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupOfJoe@gmail.com.